What is up guys, it's Peter and welcome back to another video. Today's video will be a bit different. I'll be showing you guys basically all the stuff that I've got over the past week rather, right? Ever since DBT03 dropped in English. So as you can see in front of you, we've got quite a wide spread of cards. I basically got myself the playsets, base playsets, right, of the nations that I'm currently playing in D standard, as well as a couple of sleeves that I got for my Christmas presents, now that Christmas is over and we've opened up our presents. Okay, so yeah, basically this video will be those haul videos that I do once in a while, every time a new set drops, right? Because there really is quite a number of cards that I got, and I'd just like to share it with you guys. Right, so let's have a look at these two first. So these two are very interesting Dragon Shield sleeves, I think, that Max bought me and Roxy for our Christmas presents. So Roxy got the Gryffindor one, whereas I got the Hufflepuff one. It's very, very interesting. I didn't know that, you know, Dragon Shield made this kind of Harry Potter themed sleeves, right? So you can see here Harry Potter, the branding. So 100 art sleeves. The size will be standard, as you can see here. So there'll be over sleeves if you use them for Vanguard, but if you use them for MTG, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Buddy Fight, they'll fit perfectly. So very interesting. I've never seen these sleeves, so when we opened them from our Christmas present wrapper, we were, you know, quite surprised, right? So very interesting, very nice. So with that out of the way, we can get right into our Vanguard related cards. So a lot of cards here. This is basically all that the entire Team Miracle 4 got, right? It's not just me, Roxy, Max, and Ling also got a few cards of their own to upgrade the decks with the new DBT03 cards. Okay, so back to sleeves. I also got myself this. Right. So I was passing by the card shop and I happened to see this. I was browsing through the sleeves. I happened to see this. I think it looks really neat. This is Shiranui. Right, this should be Shiranui Mukuro. So it's a GRR sleeve. Here's the back. Yep. Evil Eye Hades Emperor, Shiranui Mukuro. So it's the one that, if I'm not wrong, dominates the opponent's Vanguard and makes you attack all your opponent's rearguards. So it'd be cool. Currently my Shiranui cards don't have sleeves also. I'm sharing the sleeves with Daihozan, so this will come in handy, I guess. Okay, and then back to the cards. Alright, so where do we start? I guess we start with main nation, me and Roxy's main nation in Overdress, Dark States. So for the Dark States cards, we got the new guy, got the new right line Greedon. So some of these cards are already in sleeves because I'm planning to be featuring them in video, in matches, in best of threes basically. By the time I upload this video, I think I will already have uploaded a match featuring one of the new decks, which is either Gravidia, Flagberg, or Greedon, right? But yeah, this is Greedon, very nice looking. So 3 Greedons plus 1 that I have sleeved up for the right deck. Skill, you guys can pause to read here. If your soul has another Greedon, you lose only when you reach 7. And then at the end of battle, they attacked. Soul plus 2, put 4 standing rearguards into your soul to stand itself. And then if your soul has 10 or more cards, Greedon gets 15,000 power. Beautiful looking. Then along with him, we have Desire Devil Incane. So the Dark States cards are split into their respective supports. So this is for the Greedon support. Right. It's a very nice card for Greedon. Gives Greedon triple drive basically. Then Boshoku, which is the grade 2 right line. Okay, Bushoku also gives your Vanguard's power. Okay, and then we have Mocha. 4 of those. Astera. So these cards are based off the 7 deadly sins, I think. At least the original few. Once you get to the rest, it's all just, I think, random. Random devils. Random devils and demon looking animals, I think. Okay, so this is Akrats. Very cool looking. Okay, Goman, that's the great one. Right line for Greedon. And I think this card is also played in Barrow Magnus. Some people play in Barrow Magnus to get the guard restrict. So because of the nature of Greedon, a lot of Greedon's support actually, I would say, overlaps with Barrow Magnus' support. Like, you can use Greedon support cards in Barrow Magnus decks and vice versa. Because both Greedon and Barrow Magnus sucks your rearguards into your soul. So any rearguard with the ability, when put into soul by your Vanguard's ability, can work for both of them, which I think is super neat. Yep. Oh, I really like this card's art. Desire Devil Yaba. Okay, for those. Oh, Goman. Okay. And then this is the starter, the new starter for Dark States, and the starter for Greedon. Desire Devil Tider. Look at him. So the art is really interesting. It's very cartoonish compared to what we have for the other nations. For the other right lines even. Okay, then these are the other Dark States cards. So let's just go through them real quick. We have Diablo's Returner Derek. Fantastic card for the Final Rush Bruce deck, which is what I'm playing. So Derek. Plus 5k if I'm in Final Rush, and then it's basically a Eugene kind of effect. Counter +1, put a rearguard into your soul. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards from every 4 cards in your soul, retire them. If you're in Final Rush, look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as the number of your opponent's open rearguard circles. Call any number of units from among them, and the rest goes into your soul. This is fantastic. It just helps you to fill up the field, helps you to get soul, and also retires your opponent's rearguards without needing to hit, unlike Eden. And you can retire even multiple ones if you have a big enough soul. It's just such a good card. Right. It complements Leonard very well as well. Leonard is good if the opponent has a big field. This card is pretty decent if your opponent has a small enough field. Right. Ashoda. So this card is Barrow Magnus support, and it can also be played in Greedon if I'm not mistaken. So when retired from Guardian Circle, it goes into your soul. If your soul has 7 more cards, it gets 5k sure. I remember when this card first came out in the card of the day, some people figured a pretty insane combo with this and the V Premium Dantarian, and so Busho addressed it very quickly, right? Because I think it was like Infinite Guarding, if I'm not wrong. So yep. Let's go into Roxy's Barrow Magnus deck. Regina, I already sleeved it up, ready to be play tested with, right? So Regina is a new grade 1 for the Final Rush Bruce deck, and it's a pretty good one. It allows you to reset your board. It allows you to call cards from the soul. Basically, if you have better units in your soul, you can trade out cards that you already have on the field with cards in your soul. And it also gives buffs to the card that you called out, plus itself, which is pretty good, right? Because with Bruce, you'll be resetting your rear guard, and having the plus 10k until end of turn will mean that the rear guard will be hitting for the extra plus 10k for 2 attacks, which is neat. Okay, and then we have, oh nice, Diablo Striker Brian. So this card, I've seen it in a lot of lists in set 3 as well as set 4. I think this card will be even better in set 4 with the grade 4 Bruce that withstands the Vanguard, because Brian can give the Vanguard +1 critical until the end of turn, right? And it also gives your front row a mini 5k, which on top of Personal Right and stuff like that, as well as Halbas Full Dive or Pandemonium Tactics, you can go up to hit for pretty high numbers. Right, but yeah, this card synergizes very well with the grade 4 Bruce, Unrivaled Bruce. So Brian, we'll see him pop out in more deck lists in the future. Kinley Lootley, this is also another very, very important card for Barrow Magnus. So on place on rearguard, if your Vanguard is Master of Gravity Barrow Magnus, counter +1, return any number of normal units from your soul into your deck. and shuffle it, and then Keenly Lootly gets 5k until end of turn for each card that you chose. So now you don't care. Now you're not really that afraid of deck out in Barrow Magnus, because this card can just help to return cards from the soul into your deck so that you don't deck out. And yeah, this is good if your soul has a surplus of cards. All you need is just to maintain 15, so you don't need any more than that. So anything else more, you can just return it back into the deck with Keenly Lootly. And I also thought her name was Keenly Rudely, but apparently it's not, it's Lootly. What does Lootly mean? Not sure, but yeah, nice art, very nice skill. Can hit for very high numbers, especially if you mass soul charge and use this card in your final turn. Okay, then we got Pandemonium Tactics. This card is a fantastic order card that can be used in 2 decks, either the Bruce deck or the Barrow Magnus deck, because its skill is counter blast 1, soul charge 4. Just with that skill alone makes it very worth to be played in the Barrow Magnus deck already, even though it's a Final Rush support card. But yeah, if you play in Bruce, it also has additional effects, which is if you have 6 or more cards in your soul, draw a card, 8 or more plus 10k to your front row, 12 or more your Vanguard gets +1 critical until the end of turn. Once again, synergizing with the new Grade 4 Bruce, so you will see this card pop up a lot in Set 4 decks. I think Set 3 decks, a couple of decks are already starting to play Pandemonium Tactics as well, right? Because the mass soul charge does work with Brian, and with the new Derek, you also have more soul. You're also likely to have more soul, so you may be able to reach 12 soul pretty easily, right? So yeah, this card is played in both Bruce and Barrow Magnus. Very good card. We have Diablo's Charger Nate, Vermilion, right? Attacks everything in the front. Diablo's Madonna Meryl. Okay. Diablo's Boy Cyril. So for that, oh, Quen Lu. Yep, so there's one variant of Bruce going around in Set 3, which is the Quen Lu Bruce build. Quen Lu Eden Gut Restrict Bruce build, in which you use Quen Lu to give a Gut Restrict to your main finisher, which is Eden, right? Which is a double crit restander. And Quen Lu's Gut Restrict is that your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater cards from their hand to Guardian Circle for the battle that a rare card attacks. So which means it blocks off perfect cards, which are grade 1s in D. And so what you do in that deck is you just keep on powering up Eden, either with Regina, which I showed just now, with Geodoba with this card, and then just try to kill your opponent right there. So very interesting variant of Bruce that uses this. Right. So it's Quen Lu, Belinda. Okay. Then we've got some generic Dark State support. Very interesting. I don't think any deck plays this. Okay, got this order card as well to give your opponent's attacking Vanguard minus 5k shield. Sorry, minus 5k attack. And soul charge 1 if your soul has 4 more cards. Okay. And most importantly, we get our 4 new crits from DBT03. So the new crits, so DBT03 will introduce these new crits that basically have the ability at the end of the battle that it boosted to go into the soul to give one of your units 2000 power until the end of the turn. For a nation like Dark States, this is very important because it helps you increase your soul for your Vanguard's abilities, for your card's abilities basically, right? So you can see Roxy has sleeved this up for her Barrow Magnus deck. Yep. So yep, those are the Dark State stuff. We've seen all the Bruce and Greedon and Barrow Magnus supports, so you can put those one side. Next up, let's go to Stoicheia. Okay, so I guess we'll start off first with Flagberg, which is the new right line which is one of the 3 new right lines introduced in DBT03. Okay, and yep, it's basically Aqua Force in D. The card artwork as well as their abilities are very similar to Aqua Force. So this is their boss, Flagship Dragon, Flagberg Dragon, which just looks like, you know, a D version of Maelstrom, if you will. When it attacks a Vanguard, counterblast 1, perform all of the following according to the number of attacks you made this turn. Very Aqua Force already. 3 or more attacks, you draw a card. 4 more attacks. If I'm not wrong, there's an errata. Is you choose 2 of your opponent's rearguards to retire instead of your opponent choosing themselves, which makes this card much better. Right, and then if you made 5 or more attacks until the end of that battle, Flagbird gets plus 10,000 power and a garbage trade, which is when your opponent will call cards from the hand to Guardian Circle, they must call 3 or more at the same time. It's basically Spinning Valiant's garbage trade. And because Roxy loves Spinning Valiant as well as Aquaforce, she decided to play this deck in D. Right, but yeah, that's basically Flagbird. It's a pretty decent deck, but it's kind of piece reliant. You do need to draw into your restanders. So we will feature this deck very soon in upcoming best of 3s as well. But here's just the cards that we got. So this is the starter, Officer Cadet, Characlus, whatever. It's literally an Aquaforce card. Okay, we got a Grass Blue Dragon. At the end of battle, that you attack to rear guard. If a Vanguard is flagged, but so doesn't restand. For those, this is the right line, the grade 2 in the right deck. Ascendance Assault. So you can call itself to rear guard circle. And then it's also a restander. Okay, pretty neat. And then we have High Rate Burst Dragon. When placed on rearguard, if a Vanguard's Flagbird Dragon, you can give one of your rearguards to restand ability. Basically, all you want to do in this deck is just to hit 5 attacks and be able to set off all of Flagbird skill. You don't even need 5. I think 4 is already strong enough. Right. And this card is very similar to Barrow Magnus in that it counts the number of things you did that turn and gets stronger the more attacks or the more cards you put into your soul. Right. And I think Roxy likes this kind of abilities as well. So she's playing this. Okay, but anyways, In-Road Shooter. This is the grade 1 for the right line. Look at this. Nice art. It's a good one that can intercept. It's a 10k attacker / booster. Oh, very beautiful card. Blooming Petal, Caryophyllus. This card soul charges 2 with a soulless no cards. I think it can be pretty handy in the prison matchup. And Zola can just revive this if it wants more soul. Got Creed Assault. This guy has an errata, if I'm not wrong. If I really understand, this unit cannot attack. Yeah, this is the correct one, but I think the hollow version, I've seen like pictures of the hollow version circulating around that say something different. But yeah, this is the correct text. Prized Trident. This is a very nice card for a lot of Stoicheia decks. I guess Magnolia and Flagbird mainly. But yeah, when your other unit attacks, if it is the 5th battle of this turn, put Prized Trident into your soul to countercharge. It's the countercharge that Stoicheia has been missing for a very long time. And it's a pretty reliable countercharger as well, compared to the older one that we have, which minuses too much in my opinion. But it is really good. And Magnolia and Flagbird can reach 5 attacks pretty easily. So, and of course, we have the crits, the effect crits that every nation is getting in this set. For Stoicheia, we have Alana. Okay, nice art. So yeah, those are the Flagbird support. And then here are Max's cards. Here will be the Zorga / Magnolia support. Zorga plus Magnolia support. So we've got Shadow Cloak. This is a amazing unit for Zorga because it can dig your deck. It basically tutors out any order that you might need for your deck from your deck, allowing you to play one of orders in your deck and still be able to see it right consistently with this card. And it also has a second effect, which is like a Ghost Chase kind of effect, in which when you play an order, so +1 gets 5k, and then if it was Alchemagicked, you can return one of your other rearguards into your hand. So Zorga can, because Zorga can revive anything from the drop, you can just, along with this card, you basically can bounce back anything. You can basically return anything from a drop into your hand. Either a Persona Ride, PGs, Over Triggers, you know, amazing rearguards, whatever that you need. So very handy card. And this is the new order for Zorga. Death Inviting Black Magic. Play this with Counterblast 4, you can draw 2 cards, but its cost is reduced for every card in your bind zone. So if you have 4 cards in your bind zone, you don't have to Counterblast any, and you can draw 2 cards for free. Sounds pretty good. And basically the cards in this set support the mass binding playstyle of Zorga, so they can use this card more effectively, I think. Right, not too sure, not a Zorga player. I don't really read the Zorga cards as well, but yeah. Hidden in Darkness, okay, 20k shield. Miscreant Beating, this guy can become very beefy in the bind focused Zorga deck. So because it gets 5k for each order kind of bind zone. So let's say you have like 3 or 4. 3 is already a 25k base power unit on both players' turn, which is kind of insane. Right. Got Fabricated Dragon of Ruination. Okay. Got this Wild Crow, Drop and Draw, Carrion Processing. This binds itself, so which will count towards reducing black magic. Right. Allows you to recycle any order from your drop. Interesting. So those are the Zorga new Zorga supports. For Magnolia, let's see, we have Gabrek. When your other unit in the same column as this unit attacks, so +1, it gets 10k at the end of turn. Choose all of your opponent's rare cards. For the battle that this unit attacked, your opponent cannot call cards with the same grade as the chosen unit. So it hits for numbers, hits for 20k, and it also has guard restrict. Pretty interesting. So let's say your opponent has like, what, grade 2 and grade 1 on the field. They cannot guard with grade 1 and grade 2 for the battle that Gabrek attacked. And if you manage to stack enough power onto Gabrek, it's possible for your opponent to not be able to PG Gabrek and actually just, lose to Gabrek. So I think it's pretty interesting. I will say that Gabrek might work pretty well with Gunosla. We'll see. Right. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Gabrek has like flowers on its head. It's like wearing those flowers on its head. It's cool. Okay. And then, this is a very nice one. Sylvan Horned Beast Ambar. When placed on rearguard or put on Guardian Circle, if your Vanguard is Magnolia, Ambar gets 5k power / 5k shield until the end of turn. So it's a 13k attacker, or it can be a 10k shield. And its second effect is what makes it super good as well. Back row rearguard circle at the end of the battle that it attacked, you may return it back into your hand. So this allows you to escape control from your opponent's cards, which is actually one of Magnolia's biggest weaknesses. So yeah, Ambar is it's a definite must play, right, from this set. And being able to hit Vanguards on his own with the on-place effect is super good as well. Yep, this guy's fantastic. Okay, and then we have some of the common supports for Magnolia, Limber, HC, yeah. Molamora. Okay. Baromets. Oh, okay, this is a very interesting order. Let's have a look. In Search of an Ideal Far Away. Gold Magnolia. So choose one of your units. Until end of turn, it gets the ability. When your other unit attacks, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of turn. And this ability stacks, which means that if you... So let's say you choose, I don't know, Gabrek. Right, Gabrek here. You activate this. You give Gabrek this ability. And then you attack with all of your units. Finally, you attack with Gabrek. On the Persona right turn, you'll be making, 6 attacks? And if Gabrek is the last attack, that means you're making 5 more attacks before Gabrek. So with this order, you'll be stacking 25k onto Gabrek. Gabrek can hit for very high. It's not just Gabrek, Gunosla is also a possible target, because Gunosla can then transfer that power to another unit. But of course, then Gunosla cannot be the last attack. It may be the second last attack, maybe. Right. So I think it's a pretty interesting order. And it sort of fixes one of Magnolia's weaknesses of not being able to hit off the defensives. But of course, I don't know how consistent that will be, right? And how useful the order will be in execution. But it just sounds pretty decent. Alright, so those are the Stoicheia cards. So we've seen Dark States, we've seen Stoicheia. Let's move on to Dragon Empire. I didn't get all the Dragon Empire cards, unfortunately. I only got those that are related to Eugene because I'm only playing Eugene, like in real life, for Dragon Empire. But there are a few staples in here that can be used for Nirvana as well. Anyways, let's have a look. This is Dustin, the new Trooper Rare for Eugene, and it's a super nice grade 2. Its effect is when placed on Rearguard, if your Vanguard is Eugene, you can put a card from your hand into your soul, draw a card, and then retire one of your opponent's greater Rearguards. It doesn't use any resources, right? Instead, it gives you a resource. It gives you soul. So instead of dropping and drawing, you're putting a card from a hand into your soul to draw a card, which fuels a soul. And there are certain cards that work if they're in the soul. And it's a free retire as well, in a way. I think it's super nice. Second effect is Soul Blast 1. When he attacks, he gets 2k for each of your opponent's open rear. So if you manage to bot wipe the opponent and your opponent has like 5 open rear circles, Dustin is able to hit for 20 on his own. He gets plus 10. And this greatly helps the deck's early rush strategy. So this card is super nice for Eugene. I would say it's a 4 for now, right? Until Eugene gets more support in BTO4. But yeah, Dustin is super nice, super good card. This is Drag Ritter Shihab. 6k base, but on place on rear gets 5k, allowing you to rush. And then it also has a passive rearguard ability. When you were right from the right deck, you can put this unit also instead of discarding. I personally don't run this, but I think it's an interesting option. Right? It allows you to rush early and not have to worry about not having enough options or cards in your hand to discard for right deck, because you can just send it into soul to right from the right deck. Very interesting. Okay. And this great one is super good. This is Stuffed Dragon Fushimachi Madoka. It's a 10k attacker or 10k booster / 10k shield if the opponent's drop has 4 or more cards. And if it has 8 or more cards, this gets another 5k shield, which means it can be up to a 15k shield. So with how D is played, right, you need to discard to right from your right deck. Having 4 or more cards in your opponent's drop is actually super easy, which means this card is basically a free 10k body / 10k shield, right? And having 8 or more cards in your opponent's drop is also not too difficult as well. I personally would play a couple of these in Eugene maybe. I think we do have the space. Yep. Such an amazing card. I'll play in Dragonic Overlord also. I think there's space for it as well. Just for more, shield and more beat sticks and stuff like that. Okay, and then this is a very nice card for Eugene. Twin Strike of Duststorm Orlando. If your opponent's rearguard was retired this turn, counter +1, you can call it from the soul to rearguard circle. Works with Dustin because Dustin puts a card from your hand into soul, so you can set up Orlando. Randor, which is part of the right line of Eugene, also puts a card from the drop into your soul, which means you're able to discard Orlando for a right deck and still be able to get it into the soul to be called out in following turns. I think it's very neat. And the second effect is even better. Is when a grade 3 or greater Vanguard attacks, put Orlando into your soul to power up your Vanguard by 5k. And then you can just keep on recycling this card. Very nice. Then Best Harvest. This is a really good order for Eugene as well. Its ability is choose one of your Vanguards and it gets this effect. When your opponent's rearguard is retired during the main phase, you draw a card. With this, in D, you can draw up to 5 cards with this order if you're able to bot wipe the opponent. So this card is only as good as how many rearguards on your opponent's field and how many cards you can retire on your opponent's field. If you can retire, the more you retire, the better. I would say you want to retire 2 or more if this is active, so that you do get a hard plus into your hand, right? But yeah, this card is super nice and gives Eugene draw power, which Eugene does lack without the draw triggers. And I think it also has some premium implications. You can use this with Anger Blader to continually gauge your units and kill your opponent's units. and draw cards at the same time to give you more fuel for Anger Blader or more, you know, attackers and stuff like that. Yep. Very interesting order. And of course, this is a staple for all Dragon Empire decks. It's also one of the more expensive ones, so I'm glad I got it. Got a place out of it. Burning Flail Dragon, the effect crit for Dragon Empire. Okay. Maynard. On plays, Canvas 2, retire. Choose an opponent's rear guards and retire everything in the same column. This also has some premium implications. And in D, I guess it works with the Best Harvest because it retires 2 at once. So just draw 2 already if your Best Harvest is active. Scout Terror. Kajikazi looking units. So on attack, retire. Yep. Brachio Force. When its attack hits, retire itself to draw and then retire one of the opponent's rear guards. We have more Dust Storm units. So this is a 12k attack, 12k base. Grade 1. Okay. Alistair is a 15k shield in specific conditions. Oh, and okay, a very nice Blitz. This is a very interesting Blitz order that, for Eugene. Ambush Kill Smoke. Counterblast 1 if your Vanguard is Eugene. Your Vanguard gets 10,000 shield until the end of the battle, or rather 10,000 power. Right, but it uses defensively, so it's sort of like a shield. And then at the end of that battle, you can retire one of your opponent's boosting rear guards. Very interesting. So yep, those are the Eugene cards. Currently still playtesting Eugene, so you will see Eugene in upcoming videos very soon as well. Okay, so those are the only Dragon Empire cards I got. I didn't get the Nirvana cards, or at least not yet for now. Okay, and so we've gone through Dark States, we've gone through Stoicheia, we've gone through a bit of Dragon Empire. Now let's go to Keter Sanctuary. So these are Link's cards, and she basically got the Hex Orb support. I don't think she got any Bastion support cards. So these are just Hex Orb cards. But we start off first with the Magic Orb objective, Kakaron. So this allows you to stack your deck for a Soul Blast, and then it's also a 10k intercept, 10k guard, and a 12k attacker. 4 of those. And then at the back we have Magic of Revelation Tortoise. This card increases the consistency of the Hex Orb deck. Because Hex Orb is a Persona reliant deck, Tortoise allows you to be able to search out a Hex Orb sorcerer straight from the deck. Means that you're guaranteeing a Persona with this card. So I can see this card being pretty staple for Hex Orb going forward. Okay, so those are the only 4s that Link got. Oops. And then Keter Sanctuary's effect crit is Blade Feather Dragon. Very important. You can't not play this. Works well in both Bastion and Hex Orb because both decks do use quite a bit of soul, and this thing can move into your soul. Okay. Wish for Tomorrow. So this is a very interesting order for Hex Orb. It's basically Hex Orb's Persona effect, but you can use it as early as your first grade 3 turn. So you can basically Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, and stack a crit or a front on the top of a deck, and then draw a card as well. You draw a card first, and then you stack the crit or the front. But you can only use this if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 2 or greater. So if you're going second, right, then you can actually use this on your first grade 3 turn. Very interesting, and very nice artwork as well. With Nanaful. Well, this Keter Sanctuary cards a very nice artwork. Mil Momo. Light that shines upon the truth. Choose a Hex Orb Sorceress on a V or now. It gets 10k shield, 10k power, but this is a Blitz order. Then you can Counterblast 2 and it gets 40,000 power instead. So it's a 40k shield basically for 2 Counterblasts. I don't think Hex Orb has the resource for it, but 40k shield is very, very beefy. Okay, then Kikich. Yep. But most importantly is the Kakaron, the Tortoise, and the effect crit. We'll look at these cards later. Let's have a look at some spares that I got. So besides playsets, besides the Nation playsets, I also got myself a couple of extra cards that I think will be useful in the future. So, yep. In addition to the 4 Stem Deviate Dragon here, I also got myself 4 more Stem Deviate Dragons for my own use. Right, so those are for Roxy's Barrow-Manners deck. I'm using these for Bruce and Greedon. So it's good to stock up on these because they're very important, and I managed to get them for a rather affordable price as well. I've seen some of the prices go up, so I just want to get them, you know, before their prices really do go up too high. Okay, we have Elena, more Elenas. So I guess it's for Roxy. It's for Roxy and Max. Okay, and then what's this? This is a DBT02 card. Okay, 4 of the 20k shield fronts for Stoicheia. Okay, why did I get this? I don't know for what, but I guess this is also important. 20k fronts. Why not? Just get them while they're cheap. Got Pandemonium Tactics. 4 more Pandemonium Tactics for my own use in the future. And 4 more Price Trident because it's a very important common. So those are some, you know, singles that I got. If I'm not wrong, I think the seller threw in the Pandemonium Tactics and the Price Trident for free. Right, I only paid for the triggers. Okay, so those are the D cards. There's a lot of D cards. Let's move on to V. So Ling actually did also get some V premium upgrades, and it's for her main clan, Oracle Think Tank. So these are V Clan collection cards. I've already shown off a lot of V Clan collection cards that Roxy and I got, right, in an earlier video, so you guys can check that out. But yeah, Ling only managed to get hers now. It's better late than never, right? So yep, mainly you want to get this clan collection set for the Hue Guardian. For Oracle Think Tank one, it's Goddess of Water Dragon Toyota Mahime. Okay, very nice art, very shiny. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, if you think they're shiny on camera, then you should see them in real life. It's so shiny. Tsukumiori. So the clan collection cards for Oracle Think Tank support the Tsukuyomi deck, and this card is a very nice support card, basically because in the trigger zone it's regarded as a trigger unit, and then as revealed for a drive check, you can give a Vanguard 10k, counter +1, and it gets +1 crit. It's basically an additional critical trigger that you play in the deck, and it's a normal unit, but it's regarded as a trigger unit, which means that if you check this plus another trigger, you know, you can still set off the grade 3 Tsukuyomi's effect to give the front row +10, which is neat. So yeah, for those. So we'll see Tsukuyomi very soon on the channel as well, now that Ling has finally gotten her Oracle Think Tank clan collection cards. Miko of the Round Moon Fuyo. Okay, this allows you to set up your, it's a +1 to hand, and then it allows you to set up your soul for Tsukuyomi. Oh, this is a very nice, great one as well. Miko of the Mirror Moon Sae. Basically, if you run 4 of this in your Tsukuyomi deck along with 4 of Goddess of the Crescent Moon Tsukuyomi, it's as if you're running 8 Goddess of the Crescent Moon Tsukuyomi. Because if you miswrite this, you basically can use its first effect to superior write the regular Tsukuyomi from the deck. So this really adds a lot of consistency to the Tsukuyomi deck. As a Tsukuyomi fan, I'm glad that Tsukuyomi is getting, you know, such support to make the deck more consistent. Right. And then its second effect allows you to just stack the deck. And because its cost is to put one of your other grade 2 or less rear guys into your soul, you can actually put your grade 1 and extra grade 1 and grade 2 Tsukuyomis into the soul to set up your soul for the grade 3 Tsukuyomi as well. And these cards have very good premium implications as well if you want to play premium Tsukuyomi. The reprint of the grade 3 Searcher, Ame no Murakumo. Now Ling has like 8 copies of this. And then we get a foiled version of the Miko of Elegance Firmino, grade 3 Searcher. This card actually works with Tsukumiori, right? Because what it does is it allows you to stack a grade 3 to the top of a deck, and Tsukumiori is regarded as Tsukumiori can be regarded sort of as like a grade 3 critical trigger in the Tsukuyomi deck. You can also stack the heal trigger to have a guaranteed heal, which I think is pretty neat. So yeah, there's a grade 2 version of this as well. I think the grade 2 one is more commonly played than the grade 1, but it's nice to have, you know, 4 versions of commons. And the last card is Tetramegas, which is also another very nice card to stack triggers and works very well with Tsukuyomi. So yeah, those are the Oracle Think Tank support cards that Ling got as well, along with all these D cards that we have. So yep, that's pretty much it for today's video. Just wanted to give you guys an update on the new cards that we've gotten and what you guys can expect to see on our channel.